Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans Review this morning. It is Wednesday the 28th of May and there's even more transfer news going around. But first of all, before we talk about the £9 million teenager, we need to talk about this nonsense. Yes, this nonsense. It's no longer the Champions League, is it? It shouldn't be called the Champions League. They need to take away the name, the Champions League. It's no longer the Champions League. And this shows you the teams that have already qualified for said Champions League phase. Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Tottenham. When was the last time that Newcastle won the league? When was the last time Chelsea won the league? And then you've got Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Athletic Club, Villarreal, Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, Eintracht Frankfurt, Borussia Dortmund, Napoli, Inter Milan, Atalanta, Juventus, PSG, Marseille, Monaco, Ajax, PSV Eindhoven, Olympiacos, Slavia Prague, Sporting, Galatasaray and Union Saint. It's no longer the Champions League, and it's all about, it's just a money league. And the competition that it was when Celtic won it, when it was champions of your country that entered the competition, is long gone. And has it devalued the competition? It is the biggest competition to be in club football. And it's where the money is. It's where the money is. But I just feel that the name, the Champions League, has been completely devalued by the format. Because that's not a League of Nations, is it? It's not a League of Nations at all. That's like, get your buddies together and then we'll let other countries just fight it out for a little. I think that UEFA have been very clever. And when they tried to have the breakaway league, you remember that? They were going to have the breakaway league and it was going to be invite only. Isn't that just what they've created on this site? Isn't it just a breakaway league that's invite only to the top nations? When you start getting 5 and 6 teams from one nation into a Champions League, teams that have never won the league in years, teams that have no chance of winning the league. I mean, people will say, Tottenham have got a chance. No, they've not. They finished 17th. But they won the Europa. Yes, they did win the Europa. Fair play. Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal. When was the last time Arsenal won anything? Never mind the league. I just find it disappointing that we're having to fight it out for a qualifier to get one of the remaining places. We're the champions of our country by a long shot, by a country mile, and having to qualify into the top league in Europe. It's not a league. It's not a league at all. It's an invite-only competition, and we'll let everyone else fight it out. It's unbelievable, and it shows you why these clubs are the richest clubs, because yes, they get to the later stages of the Champions League a lot of the time, and if you look at the money that goes into English, it's follow the money, isn't it? I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid have both completely, Barcelona knocked down their stadium, billions in debt. And, unbelievable amount of debt. But the way that they seemed to solve that was to completely knock down the Camp Nou and rebuild it from scratch and make it a 105,000 seater stadium. And they said that we'll fill that every game and that'll pay off our debt. There's an unfair advantage in European football, and we're fighting for scraps. And for as good as Celtic did do last season in the Champions League, I feel it's going to only get harder and harder and harder for a club like Celtic to make any inroads whatsoever. Takes us on to transfer policy at Celtic. Transfers, there's a lot of rumours going around, there's a lot of speculation going around that Celtic had a bid rejected. A lot of Celtic publications saying that Celtic have had a bid rejected for teenage defender from Red Star Belgrade. At 17-year-old, he's seen as one of the top talents. The Serbian club have set a price tag of 8.4 million. 8.4 million. And Celtic have been quoted as interested. Now, this is where it gets interested with fan media. It's not fan media, and I've always said it's not fan media. It's media that is cloaked in a Celtic shirt and a Celtic fan, and paraded as Celtic fan media. Stephen McGowan, who's from the Herald, writes for the Herald and their publications, has posted in the Celtic Way, which is owned by the Herald. They'll work for the Herald. But anyway, he's posted in the Herald saying that Celtic watch 9 million transfer, target wanted by PSG, Liverpool and Everton also. So a lot of the other Celtic fan publications have jumped on the story and said that we've had a bid rejected. When it's not. They've not had a bid rejected. So it is what it is, isn't it? Will Celtic bid 9 million, and will Celtic go into a bidding war for a young defender? Celtic are hoping that, obviously, that they can get him and they can offer him a quicker route into first team football. Because let's face it, if he goes to any of these other teams, he's not going to be guaranteed first team football, is he? Not at all. He'll end up getting loaned out. Unless there is one or two teams that he might get some first team. But Celtic are hoping with the fact that he can get some first team action. Can you imagine getting replaced by a 9 million 17-year-old at Celtic? You'd be saying to yourself, the game's a bogey, isn't it? The game's a bogey. Anyway, that's your Celtic news this morning. People talking about the Mateus situation, the fact that he looks as if he's going to Germany. Japanese left back who's been linked with Celtic. It's all starting to ramp up now. And Scott Brown talking about things at Celtic. Keeps on talking about things at Celtic. But anyway, there will be a live at 8 o'clock tonight. And I just find it strange that Celtic... I can understand why they're going for this young lad at 17-year-old, but paying 8.4 million, people would then put a heavy burden. Celtic fans would put a massive burden on that young guy's head. I mean, look what we've done to Arne Engels this season. Austin Trusty came in at 6 million. People are saying that he's not worth the money. Bringing a young lad in, I fear that the Celtic fans we're in a position now where the club needs to spend this type of money to take us forward, to make even more money. Gone are the days of picking up the players for 1 or 2 million. I mean, those are bargains are hard to come by. The Matt O'Reillys of the world are really, really hard to come by now. There's so many scouts and there's so many clubs now looking at that end of the market, trying to pick up these bargains. And they're now realising that, you're going to have to pay 10 million euros for a 17-year-old defender, because that's the going rate, unfortunately. If Celtic were in the position that we were in when we brought through the likes of Kieran Tierney from the club, this is where we're going wrong at Celtic just now. And I've been speaking about this most of this previous season, the season that's just gone by. The fact that Daniel Cummins coming through the system, Celtic not giving him a new deal, not even offering him a deal by the looks of it, and he's left the club. He walks out the back door never to be seen again. And several other people, and people say, look, but they're obviously not good enough. And we've got to make them good enough. We spoke about this on the video last night on the live, if you missed that. Steve McManus is the defender. He wasn't... not all good managers were great players. You find that a lot of the best managers were shit players. Look at Fergie. He was a fucking crap player, but he went on to be one of the most successful Scottish managers ever. When you look at Steve McManus and what's going on at Celtic right now, is it just jobs for the boys? We need to be bringing through our own youth. We need to be churning out these young players that we can sell. Never mind letting them go under freedom of contract and getting 350 grand compensation because we've brought them through the academy. That's where we've been letting ourselves down as a club over the last couple of years. If we've got the ability to nurture and bring through these young players and give them a pathway, so all it comes down to, we're not keeping them because they're not getting the pathway. We're putting them to the Lowland League. Celtic B team will next year play in the Lowland League again. What good is that done? What good has the playing in the Lowland League done? Why haven't we got a reserve league in Scottish football? Why don't we have a reserve league? Because the other teams in Scotland, they can't finance it. They've not got the money for it, and they don't want to do it. and it's affecting the game. And then they'll complain when Celtic run away with the league with so many points. But then, hooray, Aberdeen stopped the treble. Sheep shatter, stop the treble. Huns are overjoyed. They'll all of a sudden support Aberdeen. Aberdeen hate the Huns even worse. Oh, God, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Get over it, Buzz. Oh, God, what a video this morning. Anyway, that's your Celtic news this morning. It's early because this video will go out at 9 o'clock. But tell me what your thoughts are on Celtic signing a 9 million, 8.4. They're going to have to pay 9 million. I mean, Celtic are interested. That's as far as it'll go. I mean, if we wanted them, you can make bids at this point. You can do transfers at this point. You can't register them until the 1st of July, but you can jump the gun. We did it under Ange Postecoglou. You know, why aren't we doing it now? I mean, obviously, we're making some inroads and making inquiries. But by this time, it's out on the media and everybody else is saying, oh, who's Celtic looking at? We'll have some of that. Yeah, we'll pay $5 million more. Or we'll pay 10 grand or more in wages. But I was almost going to sign for Celtic. 10 grand or more wages in a week. Right, okay, so bye Celtic, I'm off. That's the way that the transfer market goes. Anyway, on that note, make sure you join me for the live tonight. 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. We'll talk about the Champions League qualification and the teams that we do have. And is it? I think the poll question tonight is should. I mean, do you know what would be fantastic? If all the teams in every other nation that had to go through qualification that were champions, just said no. Just said, nah, fuck it. All got together and said, no, we're not playing your fucking game. We either walk into the Champions League and you make it a proper Champions League. When you win the league in your country, you automatically qualify. These other teams, we'll talk about that tonight. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.